This is easily the creepiest mother on TikTok that I have ever seen. She's a genuine danger, not only to children in general, but even her own child, who she thinks inexcusable thoughts about. Now, as always, there's a lot of nuance and depth to conversations like these, so we're gonna get into all of that, of course. Before that, though, be sure to subscribe to the channel, because I swear to God, if we hit 400k by the end of next month, I'm gonna start daily uploading. Okay, that sounded like a threat. I hope you're not threatened by the prospect of me daily uploading and are in fact joyful and ecstatic about it. Either way, I don't really care about your feelings as long as you subscribe! So get on that. Right now, in fact. All right, you got me. I'm stalling. Let's talk about this freak. We'll start with a TikTok account which has been deleted. This is a possible new account of hers, but very possibly just a fake one that someone's made because the story went so viral. As far as I'm aware, the only real genuine account we have of this woman still is her Facebook page. This is a real verified screenshot where you can see she works at a place called Harmonic Guidance. However, it's important to note that she is self-employed, so this is her own company. It'd be like me saying that I work at Dankyjabo Incorporated. You got this Instagram here for said business as well, by the way. And apparently they're a psychic, so, I mean, already they're a fucking scammer. I knew I wanted a boy at 3 and the feeling never left. Nobody in my life encouraged it. In fact, my nickname was Ali Girl. I grew to love my body, but still feel sadness at not having facial hair and a dick. I don't feel like a girl or a boy. I'm just me. This is why gender fluid or non-binary describe me. I think the truth is that my entire identity is fluid. That's cool, I guess, but that's not what this video is about. No, this video is about this viral 20-minute video that she put out, which, like, no one asked for. You can see from the caption, sensitive topic, attraction to children. I have no idea why she thought it would be a good idea to put this out, and you'll know what I mean when the video starts playing and she starts going on about some shit. I guess to boil it down to its simplest form, they start talking about how they have a genuine, like, actual sexual crush on their son. But that really is just scratching the surface. Like, it's a lot worse than that, believe it or not. I guess all I can really do now is start playing the video and show you all, eh?
This one's gonna be triggering for people. It will. It will. Okay. Alright. So, there's something about my path, my journey, that, I'm not necessarily, like, secretive about. Everyone in my life.
Thing is, when you hear what the topic is, this is absolutely something that you should be secretive about. Like, the internet has gotten way too comfortable trauma dumping, getting way too personal with every aspect of the life, depending on, like, you know, who you shag or who you like or what you're interested in. Obviously, if you're, like, homosexual or part of an LGBTQ community, you're more than welcome to come out about that and be expressive about it, right? Be yourself. But if you have an attraction to children, it's none of our fucking business, really. It's not something you should be trying to normalize and talk about in a way that makes us, like, accept it or whatever. Obviously, attraction to children and acting upon said attraction are different things, but you need to go to therapy, you need to get some help, and you need to acknowledge that this is not a part of yourself that you should love. Like, ideally, that's something you would take to the fucking grave, with only licensed professionals ever hearing about it, or the police. Tell you who shouldn't know about it, though, your fucking child. As well as every other child in your life who now is privy to this information because you put it out on your TikTok page and the story's gone viral. So fucking congratulations. Everyone in your life now knows that you love children, not in a cute way. Which might have actually turned out to be a good thing, because after this video came out, her children were taken away from her, and there's been like this official investigation launched, so silver linings, I suppose. Obviously, it's not been done in the best way possible at all. This is going to be really quite traumatic for the kids. But still, I guess some good has come of it.
About it. Because I'm compulsively honest. And open, and yeah. But I know that, like, saying it publicly, there's gonna be, like, backlash. And I'm like, that's only because people don't understand. And I'm like, well, I can explain from my perspective.
I don't think it's something that most people care to understand, for very good reason, in fact. Also, I don't like the framing of like, oh, this video is gonna really trigger some people. I know I'm gonna get loads of backlash, because you're almost making it out as though this is like some brave, heroic statement that you're making. Like, you're reaching out to every other person who's attracted to children and like making them feel comfortable. And it's like, no, this is not what we should be doing here. Like, you're not speaking out against an injustice. You're just being way too over-personal about something that none of us should know about, and that you need serious help for.
Some people are gonna get it, and some people are not. Some people are gonna look for reasons to hate when it's not really necessary. But that's just what people do, and it depends on what part of their journey they're at, I suppose.
What is this fucking faux psycho? I know they're like a psychic or whatever. They're doing a shit job here. Because people don't need to look for reasons to hate. That's like looking for something that's right in front of you. You're like, look, you see that stitch thing over there? I wouldn't need to look for it. And if I did need to look for it, it'd be the easiest search in the history of fucking humanity. Looking for reasons to hate on this video is even easier than looking for that stitch.
Depends on what they've personally gone through and what wounds they haven't healed yet. And I know that other people's response to things isn't about me. It's about them and what they're going through. So I'm gonna try not to let like fear of being misunderstood by random people that I don't even know stop me from being honest and telling my story. So
I think the framing of this is so fucking manipulative and shoddy and just wank. Not that there's any really good way to frame this anyway, but like this is certainly not the right choice. You're not brave for speaking up about this. You're just a fucking idiot. A really, really creepy fucking idiot.
as I guess. So controversial topic.
What was that sound effect? What the fuck was that? Did she put that in on purpose to like, I don't know, hype the topic of pedophiles up? Also, this might be a controversial opinion, but I don't think pedophilia is a very controversial topic. Controversial implies that there are like differing opinions on either side and that like no one can truly agree on the severity of a certain topic. But pedophilia is one of the few things where no matter who you are or where you're from or what side of the political spectrum you're a part of, everyone fucking hates you. Oh, you know what? I do say that, but I mean, not to piss people off, but the right does seem a little too accepting of pedophiles these days. So maybe it is controversial. I'll give her that. Maybe she can transition into right-wing grifting after this. Maybe she can run for president after this.
So when you hear that word, if your mind automatically jumps to sex offender, child sex offender, that is not the same thing. Okay, and let me just explain what I mean by that.
Everyone knows what you mean by that. It's the simplest, most boring explanation ever. Everyone knows being attracted to something and acting upon said attraction is two different things. That does not make one good, it just makes one significantly worse.
We're talking about the meaning of words here, and the definition of a pedophile is someone who has an attraction to children.
Do you see how insane this is, by the way? Like, there's no exaggeration here. A woman who is a mother has just gone on TikTok to tell the world that they are an actual pedophile. No joke, no exaggeration. That's what's happening here. That's what she feels comfortable doing right now. I think that that's fucking unhinged. You know, most people are too scared to ask out someone they like on a date. Then you've got this woman here breaking down every barrier and just fucking slapping her cock on the table, coming out with this shit.
Not that much, like, clarification around the fact that there's different attraction. There's, like, love attraction, and then there's sexual attraction. So, I don't really know if it's just about sexual attraction or if it was about love attraction.
No, come on. What, that is like the most banal distinction to make in a situation like this. Because you can obviously tell the whole point of her bringing up the difference between love attraction and sexual attraction is so that she can justify her own pedophilia by going, well, there's nothing sexual about it. It's just, I love my kid. But everyone with a kid, ideally, loves their kid. Not in a way where they feel the need to make a video like this. Like, obviously, the love that you're experiencing for children, and your child in particular, is a very different type of love to the love that most people experience when they're around children. I love children, not like this. And obviously, something that goes hand in hand with the type of love that you're talking about is sexual intimacy. So it's not even a worthwhile distinction to be bringing up here, in my opinion.
But the thing is that these people, these pedophiles, they can choose, obviously, whether or not they're going to act on the thoughts, desires, and stuff they have, right? So you're a pedophile whether you act on them or not, right? So that's not something that people can really control. If you're attracted to whoever you're attracted to, right? But So, my story is about not. I think I realized that the definition, I'm pretty sure, I think is just like an exclusive attraction to children.
No, that's not the definition. The definition is any type of attraction. It doesn't matter if it's exclusive. Just because you like grown women as well, it doesn't make your attraction to little girls any better or more ethical or less pedophilic. Like, are they seriously about to are they gonna go like, oh, well, you know what? Even though I do love little boys, I also love big grown men. So it's okay, right? I'm not technically a pedo.
Me, that's not what's going on with me. I'm attracted to, well, I want to sleep with some dude in his 60s. Like, age isn't a thing for me. In either direction.
In either direction? Fuck off. What do you mean? Also, it clearly is if you wouldn't sleep with someone in their 60s. Contradicting your own self here, man. What kind of psychic is this? Also, just what a fucking insane statement to make. Age isn't a thing for me in either direction. Especially in a video where you're talking about pedophilia. It does make sense, unfortunately, but the sense is not like, it's not good sense.
Let me explain how I figured out all of this, okay? Don't hate me yet. Finish the video, okay? Fuck. Alright.
Okay, you know what? You're right. My bad. I think we moved too quickly. Let's stop hating on her. She asked us to very politely. So, you know what? I forgot her name. But I love you. I think you're wonderful. And I love how attracted you are to little children. I think it's a very admirable trait. And you're incredibly brave for coming out about this. And I'm totally willing to hear you out. Let's see how long it takes for it to become, like, unjustifiable again. I'm sure we can all agree we're on her side now. All it takes for someone to be on someone's side is for them to go, don't hate me.
When I was 17, I started doing this course. It was a childcare course. It was a childcare course. So I did that. I did all of the theory stuff. So it was super fucking easy. It was all really easy. And then when it came time to do prac, yeah, I went to go do the prac. And sorry, I gotta turn the notifications off next time. I can't be fucking else. You're gonna have to deal with it. Yeah, when I went to prac, there was this boy in one of the classes that I was in. He was like 4 or 5 or something. But he kept saying that he loved me.
Okay, I've gone back to hating you. This is ridiculous. First of all, the notification sounds, fuck that. Restart the video. I feel as though when the notifications on your phone are trying to silence you, technology itself has turned against you here. The very thing you're using to share your piece of shit story is trying to silence you. You know you've done fucked up. Also, I need to know about a 4 to 5-year-old boy saying that they love you in a way that is absolutely platonic. It's probably just a kid who's full of wonder and joy and amazement, and I don't know, there's something about that naivety that really brings you some sort of sick thrill, and that is fucking sickening.
I got huge butterflies. when I saw him. And I wasn't coping at all with the fact that I was having these feelings. It was fucking with my head so much. I was like, what the fuck?
Butterflies, like when you chat to your crush in school. Just to be clear, she is not referring to the warm, fuzzy feeling that you get when you talk to a cute kid and you just feel good about, like, oh, kid is so cute, right? You know what I mean? So when you're looking at a cat or a dog or something, you don't want to do anything sexual with it, but like, you feel good, sure. No, she's referring to butterflies the same way you do when you chat to a girl or a boy that you really like, or a non-binary pal. The thought of feeling that way when you're chatting to a 4 or 5-year-old, not only is it completely inappropriate, but it's also completely not something that you should be detailing to millions of people.
What the fuck? What does this mean? What does this mean about me? What is this? What's gonna happen? Like, what do you mean? Yeah. So, because I was not coping with that, I kind of stopped going to the daycare for the prac. I needed some time.
It's a good move, that. Unironically, it's a good move. If you feel, you've learned that you have this attraction to children, get away from the fucking children. It's the first thing she said in this video that I actually agree with. But it only works if you actually try and get help afterwards. Like, you stop this, you go get some help, you talk to a therapist, and you sort yourself out.
To process what the fuck was happening. in me. But that's the thing, on the last day that I was there, now, I ended up having a break for way too long, and they were like, you can't come back now, you missed it, can't complete the course. And I'm like, okay.
Thank fuck for that, by the way. Mate, if only they knew they were literally training up a pedophile. That is a blessing that she could not complete the course, because that would have been genuinely dangerous. It's like hiring Ted Bundy to work in like a domestic violence shelter, or R. Kelly to work in Disneyland or something.
But the last day that I was there, I came in to work so excited to see him, but that day he called me a poopy head, and I cried so hard.
It looks like she's about to cry again at just the mere memory of it. Have you guys seen that one South Park episode where Ike gets with the teacher, and it's like very much over-exaggerated example of like a female teacher getting with like a really young male student? Usually the age gap is nowhere near that. Like Ike is a fucking like actual baby. So the whole point is that it's exaggerated for comedic effect, and that like teacher was like way too infatuated with him in a way that was very unrealistic, but still trying to like get some social commentary in the way. This is literally that. You know how people say we're living in a South Park episode nowadays? We actually are. We literally are. Even down to the little kid calling her a poopy head, and it like getting to her way too much. Fucking poopy head, man. I guess in her mind, getting called a poopy head by a child, that's like their version of telling you to fuck off and that they despise you. You know, because they don't have the capability to be all witty and ironic in their insults. Maybe this little kid genuinely had a distaste for her because she was way too clingy and annoying. I mean, it certainly wouldn't surprise me.
So devastated that he was calling me a poopy head. I was so sad. I was like, he doesn't like me anymore. And it took me a few years after that before I realized that that was a child altar inside me.
Fuck off. Shut up! Oh, don't fucking weaponize this psychology language to justify your sick perversions, mate. It wasn't a child altar, it was you. It was you. It's you, and you are a pedophile. And you like this kid way too much in the wrong way. It's not a child altar inside of you. That's all total bollocks. I guess we should let her keep talking, but like, I'm not convinced.
Of myself that was having a crush on this boy. It wasn't like adult parts of me. But there's still like this confusion because like my body was 17 at the time. So I'm like, does that mean that there's a 17-year-old in me who feels that way? Where technically a 17-year-old is still a kid, but no.
You see how it's so weird. They're still trying to like justify it a little bit. Like, oh, that's 17-year-old. We're both minors, aren't we? Even though they're literally 4. Like, come on, dude. How could you even say that? Even if it is to immediately dismiss it, you can't even bring that up as like a hypothetical justification. It's that wrong. It's like, oh, you know what? I really do want to fuck this cow. We're both I mean, humans are technically animals, so it's not really bestiality, and oh, this cow, oh, it really is getting me going a little bit. But like, obviously, no. Obviously, come on now. It's like, no, you wouldn't have brought that first bit up if there wasn't some sick part of you that actually wanted to do it. You don't bring an argument like that up in good, genuine faith. And this kid altar thing is like, that's just more cope in my opinion.
Right?
She's actually crying. She's actually crying. She is literally still crying over getting called poopy head by this fucking kid. That is so disturbing on so many levels, man.
It took me a few years to like forgive myself for even having those feelings, because now I realize, oh, it was a part of me that was like the same age as him that felt that way. And that's not to say, that is not to say that I think that it's okay for me in an adult body to follow through with anything. Because that's not a thing. It's not a thing. So, I mean, when I was a kid, I was obviously sexually abused by someone. I know my brother was doing stuff to me.
Oh, fuck. Okay, we're gonna go this direction, eh? We talk about how you were sexually abused as a kid. Obviously, that's valid. Not in terms of justification for this, but it's very obviously a traumatic thing that has happened to this person, and it does help us understand the behavior to some extent, provided she's being true at least. Which you'll see at some point in this video, there are some things she says that make me question the validity of this claim. However, if we're taking it at face value, then I am not someone who is oblivious to the fact that child sexual abuse can affect said child their entire life. I know this might seem hypocritical because I said that I don't really like when people trauma dump on the internet, but this is about as personal as I'm ever going to get on this channel. And I'm also going to be incredibly vague because it's not really anyone's business, but I have experienced as a child sexual trauma. And I can say confidently that it is something that has affected me in my adult life as well. Like it is not something that goes away. It really does stick with you. Now for me personally, I guess, fortunately, it did not result in any type of attraction towards younger people. Like, that is not something I think I will ever truly understand, nor do I want to. But when I say I understand that being sexually abused as a child does sometimes lead to attraction towards younger children or whatever, that's not me understanding it. Understand is the wrong word there. I'm more just aware that it's a thing that happens because I have a lot of trust for the scientists and healthcare professionals that assert that it is a common, I suppose, effect of said trauma. But it's not something that I have personally ever experienced. Like, it's just something I believe because I trust the third parties who, you know, have helped us tremendously in the past. So I understand that I guess the trauma manifests itself differently depending on the person, depending on the trauma itself, maybe. I don't know exactly what the circumstances are that decide what happens to you in your adult life or how it fucks your mentality up. Maybe it's just by chance or it affects people differently sort of randomly or arbitrarily, if that makes sense. Like for me personally, it's definitely negatively affected my outlook and relationship with sex in general. I remember being like hypersexual at a certain point, and I was asexual for a really long time. It fucked me up. Like my relationship with sex was incredibly unhealthy. I think the worst point for me was, I think a year and a half ago, a lot of yous were probably there when I got cancelled. There were two creators coming at me, but one more so, and one of the accusations they were levying against me was this implication that I myself was a pedophile. But on top of that, among many other things, was this really unfounded accusation that I was like this porn-addicted, sex-obsessed incel creep who was also flirting like, or cheating with my girl, or cheating on my girlfriend at the time. That was it. And as someone who has experienced trauma at the hands of, you know, sick people as a child, I think that really brought some shit up in me. Like, that was really bad. This is all from therapy. Like, I've recently gone to therapy. It's working out a whole lot better for me. It's helped me realize all these things. And nowadays, I do have a much more healthy relationship with sex. It's more abnormal, for sure, but it's healthier. But yeah, having something like that in, like, the back of your psyche, and then hundreds of thousands of people thinking that now you're, like, this sex-obsessed, fucking porn-addicted, creepy fuck who could be a pedophile and is also cheating on his girlfriend because he's that much of a fucking incel. Yeah, that was pretty traumatic for me. I'm partially bringing this up because I've been getting a lot of comments regarding my asexuality recently, and I definitely was asexual at the time, but I'm at a much more healthy point in my life now. I've done a lot of work on myself. I'm quite proud of that, in fact. And I also, and I really don't mean to maybe unintentionally queerbait by allowing people to think this thing about myself that a lot of people may relate to or find solace in, like a creator that they enjoy watching, sharing this sexuality with them, if that makes it. Because I hate that. I really hate when creators are very vague about their sexuality or talk about how they're questioning or that they don't want to put a label on it when in reality they're just straight and they want to appeal to that audience. And I think it's a really shitty thing to do. I don't think that's what I'm doing, but you can imagine it does feel weird when I'm getting all these comments asserting about me a sexuality that I don't think applies to me anymore. But I also want to bring this up because I am trying to express to you that I am not unaware of how sexual trauma affects young people. It's not something I am just talking about as someone who has read up on it. It is something that I have experienced personally. In terms of attraction towards younger children, luckily that is not something I have experienced and never will. However, I am someone who has experienced something and has managed to work my way out of it using therapy, using, I guess, psychological techniques or whatever you want to call them. You can work on yourself. It is hard. It is hard. But you're never a lost cause, ever. I feel almost shitty bringing this up though, because it's like, I don't want to give this lady hope, if that makes sense. Like, I think she is such a piece of shit. But either way, I think maybe I just wanted to get something off my chest there. A little off topic, I know, but I'll let the video continue now.
But I was doing stuff with my female friends earlier than that, and I'm not sure where I learned it. And there's this stuff about the babysitter that could be a thing, but honestly, if I'm being completely honest, there's been a whole lot of breadcrumbs about it being my dad that was abusing me. So there's that. But anyway, moving on.
See, this is what makes me question it a little bit, is that she doesn't actually know what happened. And later on in this video, she talks about how it may have happened in a past life. Obviously, we'll get to that when we get to that, but just those sort of verbiages in particular, it makes me question, like, okay, what the fuck are you actually talking about here? Are you just bullshitting us? Is this like your weird psychic technique? Because psychics are scammers. They're scammers. They lie all the fucking time. They're worse than lawyers. So immediately, when this video opens up and they have this like weird hippy-dippy username and they claim to be a psychic, I already don't like them. I already don't trust them. And then they start talking about how they were abused in the past life. It sounds to me as though they are trying to justify their sick pedophilic behavior by talking about something that they know most people are sympathetic towards. And I don't like that shit. I think it's fucking disgusting.
After the childcare course, I tried to do a teacher's aid course. I just wanted to, because like that part of me.
She didn't say it there because she knows how bad it would sound, but I think she was going to say, I just wanted to be around children. Which, yeah, I guess it makes sense why you didn't want to say that.
Went away and I was normal again. And I was like, okay, we need a job, we need to study. I'm great at communicating with kids. That's because I become a kid a lot of the time. So that's where that comes from. I can see from a child's perspective because I have a child's perspective a lot of the time. So yeah. So I went to TAFE, I did the teacher's aid course, and they assigned me to kids around 5 or 6. So again, all of the work was easy and it's fine. But then when I went to go do the prac, I was there for a week or maybe a few days or something, and I didn't get any feelings for anyone. But the memory of that happening kept haunting me, and I kept being afraid that I would develop some feelings for someone. So I stopped going to that prac as well, and I failed that course as well.
Thing is, I think she's such a bullshitter that I don't even know if she's telling the truth here. Like, I feel as though there's a very high likelihood she just got fucking fired, and now she's trying to spin it in, like, this pseudo-moralistic way to paint herself out to be the caring one here, who's doing the right thing, who's, like, doing things out of the kindness of her heart, because she's scared of harming children. When in reality, I don't think she gives a fuck. When you listen to the way that she talks about her son later on in this video, it's so unjustifiable that I genuinely don't understand how she put this on the internet and kept it there until she started getting backlash. I mean, she's gone now, and I hope she's gone forever. Like, I don't imagine she'll ever come back. So again, that's one good thing that's come out of this. I don't think anyone's gonna get scammed by her no more.
Just because of fear that I would feel something. But then I'm like, I see all this stuff in the news now about, like, childcare workers doing bad things, and I'm like, how could they do that? Like, when I thought that I was going into a line of work where I might even potentially, like, traumatize someone, I couldn't do it.
I really don't want to traumatize people or cause children any inconvenience. That's why, even though I have a fucking son and I regularly interact with children, all of whom are definitely going to see this video, or at the very least, have parents who see this video, I'm gonna make said video talking about how I'm a literal pedophile who has crushes on children and cries hysterically when they call me poopy head because I'm that in love with them. I can definitely tell you got a lot of care for the children in your life, you fucking wet wipe.
Work, knowing that they're going to Like, I don't... So, yeah. So when I was a kid, obviously someone abused me. And it made my life so fucking hard. Because it changed the way that I see things. I assumed that all of my, like, fragmentation is because of trauma. I know that it's like an accumulation of trauma from multiple different lifetimes.
See, this is what I mean. That's what I mean. What does that, what I mean is, what the fuck do you mean? You know it is an accumulation of trauma from multiple different lifetimes. I don't mean to be a dick here, right? If you got different beliefs, whatever. There's no multiple different timelines rather. Lifetimes, that's what you said, my bad. Sorry, I don't mean to misrepresent what you're saying, so I humbly apologize for that. Even if that's real, you aren't traumatized in a separate timeline or fucking lifetime, whatever the fuck, right? And that's like affected you now. This is like such a stupid out to give pedophile, oh, well, Your Honor, he was probably groomed in a previous lifetime 2 centuries ago. Oh, yeah, well, fair enough. Case closed, not guilty, eh? No arguing against that. How are you gonna speak on your position of privilege just because you weren't groomed 2 lifetimes ago?
Like, genetics. I know that it's all of that as well. But I was always adamant that someone did something to me and made me the way that I am, and I struggle. I find life really fucking hard. You know? I mean...
See, this is... I was adamant that someone did something to me. This is like when you go home and the door is unlocked and you're like, I'm adamant that I locked the door. Well, that's all well and good, but the door's not fucking locked. So as adamant as you are, you didn't fucking do it. I don't care how sure you are you locked it. It's not locked. You didn't fucking lock the door. You idiot. That's what this sounds like to me. I'm adamant. Something must have happened. It's like, no. If something did happen, first of all, it wouldn't justify this anyway. You can't call someone a fucking idiot for just not believing her here. Like, if you choose to believe her, that's fine. That's well and dandy. I completely understand that. I think that's completely fine. I'm not going to judge you for it. But, like, I also wouldn't judge you for it if you chose not to believe her.
When I'm following God and the universe and the guidance and the intuitive hits and all of the puzzle pieces and breadcrumbs, like, life is so fun and exciting when you do that, and it takes you places that you didn't expect, and then you meet people that give you energy that you didn't expect, and you get information, and it's all fucking amazing. But I didn't expect that my path would lead me to ascension. I expected that my path would just be struggle the entire time, so I did not want that for anyone else. And even now, knowing that it's like led me to the point of going through an ascension journey, that's not. See, I've learned some things about myself throughout this whole thing. When I was younger, I tried to convince myself that if anything were to ever happen between me and someone underage, it would be because they approached me about it, and they were very adamant about it.
Look at how she's smiling giddily as she, like, thinks of a child approaching her in a romantic way. Like, she's actually giddy. Like, she's getting in a good mood thinking about it. Like, this is how you know she still feels these fucking feelings, and it's not a child alter of hers. Like, no, this is just her being a fucking freak. Like, she still cries at the thought of a kid calling her poopy head, and she's still ecstatic at the thought of a kid approaching her romantically.
I don't see things that way anymore. Because my son has been really creepy with me lately.
Oh, fuck. Oh, this is it. This is the fucking bit right here. This is like this is where it goes from, like, really bad to, oh my fucking god, you need to be arrested. Your son has been acting creepy towards you. This doesn't make... No. Oh, fuck me. Jesus. I guess let's just hear her out, eh? I need to go for a piss first. I'll be right back, man. And you know what? I'm taking a cold shower, in fact. All right, I'm back. I feel so much better after that. But I'll tell you what, whilst I was gone, I was thinking, genuinely, like, I don't think something we're taking into account as much as we should here is that this lady is a psychic. So she's either fucking crazy or a scammer. She's probably both. Because psychics aren't real. It's not a real thing. It's not a real magical power. No one can actually do that shit. There's not been one documented case of valid or reliable psychic evidence, right? It's a grift. It's bullshit. And it's usually done by people who are looking to exploit or take advantage of people in vulnerable situations or in desperate situations, right? So it's not as though we've even entered the equation or entered the video with like with a neutral position where this is just a normal person sharing their story and being vulnerable. It's like, no, we have to take into account from the very beginning that this is not someone who should be trusted. But anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, her son was being really creepy to her, so I guess let's keep watching.
And I've felt uncomfortable, and I've had to be like, no, this is not a thing. Like, he's 4 now, so, but like, for instance, he sometimes like he tries to watch me get dressed or whatever. If he catches me, he will mention my boobs. Yesterday, he walked up to me and he just like reached up and was about to just fucking double grope me. And I was like, no, I have gropey trauma with my grandfather.
That's like really not normal. Something is up with that kid. Because, you know, normal, well-adjusted, well-behaved 4-year-olds would not be acting that way. Something must be going on. There's no way he's just genetically thinking like that. I'm gonna look this up actually, because I'm pretty sure that could be a sign that like maybe he's been exposed to pornography, for example, at way too young of an age or something like that. Which is, again, something unfortunately I was accustomed to. I had this fucking really weird friend who showed it to me who, I mean, he was my age, so he was probably a victim too, but whatever. Okay, I've got healthychildren.org, powered by pediatricians. I've never heard of this website before. I'm not sure exactly how reliable it is, but from everything I'm reading here, it sounds pretty standard. So nothing immediately jumps out to my dumb ass as like wrong or insane. Here we go. This is a common normal behavior, showing genitals to peers, and then less common, touching a peer's or an adult's genitals. I don't know if you count breasts as genitals. I think technically they are. No, is that right? Oh, fuck's sake. Okay. No. Okay, no, they're not. They're not. I think that's the closest thing we have on this chart to what is being described here though, and we have that as less common but still normal. So maybe it just all comes down to how the parent reacts to said approaches. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't be so quick to say, oh, that's not normal, something must be going on there, because I'm not fully educated on the matter. It's just, I suppose my intuition tells me that something must be going on there, because I was not like that at 4 years old, and that's all I really have to go off is my own experience, I guess.
And he like I feel like I'm being traumatized by my son trying to lift up my shirt and that's right, he fucking just crawled up on my bed when I was trying to relax, and he groped the same boob that my granddad groped, and it was creepy, and it felt like he was being possessed, and I was like, what the fuck? And there was one time where...
Just fucking move him out the way. He's a kid. He's 4 years old. I'm not saying, like, punch him or anything, but, like, just pick him up, move him out the way, and chat to him about, like, look, this is why you can't be doing that shit. This isn't, like, a lost cause here. Like, there are valid solutions to this problem, I feel. Like, obviously, yeah, it sucks. A lot of parts of being a parent sucks, especially in those first 6 years. It's, like, the most time-consuming, stressful thing in all of human fucking history. And especially if you have that sexual trauma, for sure, it's gonna be traumatic. But, like, you know, you're a mum, so you kind of have to do your job here. And you know what you definitely shouldn't be doing? Is telling millions of people online who, oh fuck, especially because people in your life are gonna see this video. They now know what your kid is doing. By the way, let's remember that this story came immediately after them saying, I would only do something with a child if they started it, or if they approached me first and were all confident and shit. She did follow that up with like, oh, now I'm not so sure anymore. But to have this story come right after, it's like, what exactly are you trying to get across here?
He was trying to like... But it was the same day. It was the same time. It was in but in the same...
This is you talk to your fucking therapist about this, man. I am not your therapist. Leave me alone. I don't want to hear about any 4-year-old groping anyone, ever. I'll worry about that if I happen to have a 4-year-old who starts groping me. Right now, that should not be a concern in any of our minds. I mean, the internet is a magical thing. It lets you communicate with people all around the world, right? Australia is like the furthest country away from me right now. And the internet is so magical that I know about a 4-year-old Australian boy groping their mother's body. That's not even the fault of the internet. I guess it is kind of the fault of the internet, but it's also like, come on now. What the fuck are you actually doing? Why do you think this is appropriate? Is this like a way of trying to market yourself or advertise your services because you managed to get over this rough time using psychology?
Time frame, and he tried to, he was like giving me raspberries on my belly and stuff. But then, like, when he did it, his energy was shifting, and he didn't feel like him anymore. And he felt like someone was controlling him. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
Okay, this is just more psychic bollocks. Like, what do you mean? His energy, he was giving you raspberries on the... That's, like, fine. 4-year-old giving raspberries on the belly is not, like, a big deal at all, really. But then you're talking about how someone took over. It's like someone, what, like, controlling him like a puppet, I guess. Like, with a bunch of strings or something. Just didn't feel like himself. He was... This is just that psychic bullshit I was talking about earlier. It's like, no, this is just your kid being... a bit of a shithead. So how about you fucking do something about it instead of blaming everyone else for it and telling us all about it?
What is this? And then he, I think it's like he like started to go lower, and I was like, no, like, what are you doing? And then he like crawled up and groped me. And then I was...
That's all you did. That's all you just said, no, don't do that, please. What are you doing? You didn't even say don't do that. You just said, what are you doing according to you? Where's the don't do that? Where's the get away from me? Where's the stern yet very civil discussion about how behavior like that is unhinged and unacceptable? Where's the non-violent yet still authoritative, I am going to pick you up and place you away from me so that we can have a very civil chat about why you cannot behave like this to me or anyone else? If she wants to argue this was some sort of freeze response, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but I just don't buy that your 4-year-old son was so threatening to you and was triggering your trauma so much that you just couldn't find it within yourself to remove him from your body whilst he was groping you. Like, could he have done anything there and you wouldn't have done anything to stop it? Like, what is going on here, man? Of course, freeze responses are completely valid, but I can't accept that as an excuse here.
And then I freaked out a little bit. And I was like, I don't want, I'm like, what are you doing? And I realized that I was wrong the whole time. Even if a child would try something with me, I wouldn't feel comfortable with it, and I would stop it and push it away. And I was like...
Mate, she's actually crazy. What are these laughs? Why does she keep giggling? It's really, really uncomfortable. Also, is that what it took for you to realize that you wouldn't actually have sex with a child? Someone actually trying to do it with you. You know, most people, like, I can pretty confidently say if a child approached me and tried to do whatever the fuck, I would not reciprocate at all immediately. It would be the quickest dismissal that you could ever think up, man. I wouldn't need someone to actually try it on me for me to come to the conclusion that, ooh, I'm not very interested in that actually. Let alone my own fucking son.
What the fuck?
It's not funny. Why does she keep laughing? Why does she keep laughing? Uncomfortable laughter, sure. But again, this is not for us, man. Go to fucking therapy, you idiot. Oh, I'm getting pissed off. I'm sorry. I need to calm down. Whilst the next clip plays, I'm going to do some deep breathing. I don't know if Naz will show it or not, but just know that I'm doing it.
But you know the creepiest part about that time? Right after that, he crawled up to me and he whispered in my ear, "I'm your sister." And my...
Okay, all right. I got about one deep breath in there before I had to pause again. That's the creepiest part. That not that he was trying to give you cunnilingus, according to you. Creepiest part is that he whispered in your ear that he's your sister.
I've been getting all of these messages saying that my sister's been using all this dark magic or something and trying to twist everything against me and doing these rituals and stuff and trying to like put cursed items and stuff in with all of my belongings because it was at the house that she was in. Like, all of this random crazy shit, right?
Damn, you know what? No, that changes things. I didn't realize that the curses were involved in this, man. Shit, no, I didn't realize that. I feel so bad now. Everything I was judging on her, everything I was judging her on before, like, take that out of the equation. There's dark magic involved. You don't want to fuck around with dark magic, I tell you. It's like I said, she's just fucking big crazy lady who should not be around children and should not have had a child. And I'm so happy that this child no longer belongs to her as far as I'm aware, but we'll talk about that after, I guess.
And the fact that I thought that, I felt like he was being controlled, and then he whispered, "I'm your sister," to me. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what the actual fuck? Okay, what the actual fuck? Yep. So that's that. So... that's the opposite kind of child sexual abuse. Now I feel traumatized. But that means that my sister is trying to fucking manipulate things.
No, that's not what it means. It means you're doing a shit job as a mother. Your sister, you can't blame... Oh man, okay, so she's one of these people who just blames everything on other people. I'll tell you what, I bet if she actually did engage in something horrific with a child, she'd blame the child. She'd be like, well, they started it. They approached me. They came for me. So how are you finding a way to blame your fucking sister for your child being way too sexual for his age towards his own mum? Allegedly, by the way, because with this woman, I don't know what to fucking believe.
Spiritually... to, I don't know, to turn me into what she's telling everyone that I already am.
What is that? If it's pedophile, then you are that, unfortunately. You pretty much admitted it in this video.
It's gross, and I don't like it. So, yeah, living with the knowledge that, I feel that attraction that I sometimes just can't control, and it fucks with my head knowing that I can't act on it, and apparently I don't want to. I definitely know I don't want to with my own children. That's the thing.
Oh well, that's good at least. Round of applause. Round of fucking applause. Oh, that makes me so happy. At least you know you don't want to fuck your own 4-year-old son. It's a step in the right direction, that, because we weren't so sure a while back. I love that kind of implies that she is unsure as to whether or not she would engage in an activity like that with someone who isn't her own child. It's like, imagine adding that qualifier. I would never engage in sexual intimacy with a child who is biologically mine. Do you see how it becomes so much more fucked up when you add that qualifier? Because there's so many unsaid things when you say something like that are fucking horrific to think about. Especially when you just said as well that you are bothered that you are unable to act upon your impulses. That bothers you.
Because I've been traumatized by the mere notion of it.
Right, that's why. Oh, that's the reason why you can't engage with your son like that, because you've been traumatized by whatever the fuck. Not because it's just the correct moral thing to do. It's not even the correct moral thing it's just the most common, it's just what it's like, oh, fuck me. Because saying it's like the correct moral thing to do almost gives her credit. I've heard some people online say, you know what, I respect when pedophiles get themselves checked in and try to get help for their thing instead of actually it's like, no, you should not respect people for that. That is what they should be doing. It's like respecting a parent for not having their child die of starvation. Like, no, that's not worth respect. That is just what should be happening here. That should be the norm, which luckily that is the norm. It really is the bare fucking minimum. Like, it really is.
It's really hard to know that that's just what happens in your brain naturally, and people hate you for it, and you can't help it, and you don't even like it. And, you know, I just hate all the calls to violence against pedophiles when we don't all fucking do shit. Then again, if it's exclusive distraction, then that's not it. You know what I mean? So, again,
I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean, unfortunately. I don't think people should be calling violence against you. I can agree with you there. People shouldn't, like, fucking heckle you in the street for this. But you definitely deserve to lose your platform. You definitely deserve to lose your job. You definitely deserve to lose your child. You should definitely be going to fucking therapy. And the police need to check every hard drive on everything you own. If you got a floppy disk, they need to check it. If you got a fucking glass eye in your gaff, they need to check it out, mate. Whatever psychic den you've got going on needs checked immediately. In fact, every building you've walked into in the last 20 years needs a good check.
Triggered when people talk about, like, hunting down all the fucking pedos and killing them and stuff. And I'm like, do you know how much these people struggle within their own minds with themselves? Do you know how much they would have to, do you know how much shame there would be? Do you know how much they would have to hide about themselves from everyone just to feel accepted?
No, you shouldn't feel accepted. There's no acceptance for that. You should have to hide that part of yourself if you feel that way in order to be accepted. If someone in my friend group told me that they had an attraction towards children and they needed acceptance from me, they wouldn't fucking get it. They'd get a therapy referral. I'd fucking personally pay for their therapy. We got the NHS here, but I'd pay for private, man, because fuck that. Especially if they even thought about acting on it.
Not a path that you choose, and it's not an easy one either. So it kind of like breaks my heart knowing that there are other people out there similar to me that can't control that feeling but can control their actions, but they're still hated even though they have top tier self-control.
Top tier self-control. And then she laughs giddily at the end. This is the most disgusting video I think I've ever seen on TikTok. Fuck me. The fact that she's a mother with a oh man, this boils my blood. Thank fuck it's over. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Alright, good news, finally. Let's hear some good news.
Okay, I have a major update for everybody who saw that one, who reached out, who made this possible. Her name is Akra Harding. Here's her Facebook profile. Child protection in Australia was reached out to multiple times by many different people, and I can verify that they are taking the proper actions needed for child safety. I also have a verified text message chain with the father of the child that the child has been removed from Akra's care. He stated he removed the child the moment he was made aware of the situation. I genuinely want to thank every single person who reached out, who cared about the safety and well-being of her child and the children around her, who made calls, who helped with this. I saw other creators on this. I have no thoughts that it was me who even did this. I could have been their 40th call on this. I think it's important that everybody called and everybody helped out. And just a reminder, here in America, you can text BEGIN to 800-422-4453 or call the number if you or someone you know is experiencing child abuse. And as a side note to the very few people who commented or DM'd me saying that I was shaming her and her mental health, absolutely am not. She needs to get help for her mental health, but the number one priority is keeping the children around her safe. So that's all I have to say about that one.
Yeah, exactly. Excuse my sympathy for her for a little bit. Let's take care of the fucking kid first and make sure that she can't literally endanger anyone. Especially because she's saying she is unsure as to whether or not she would act upon the impulses if it wasn't a child of hers. But I'm sorry, every bit of respect I possibly could ever have for you for coming out with this and like trying to get help is gone at that point.
Absolutely not. We're not doing this. We are not normalizing minor attracted persons. We are not normalizing attraction to children. This person needs to be locked up. And the fact that they felt so emboldened to post this publicly just says what kind of world that we're living in. Disgusting. Okay,
that's good. I'm glad not all of Australia is fucking loopy. They got the Australian audience. I'm sure you're more aligned with this lady that I've just shown on screen. Okay, alright, you know what? I think that's 2 bits of good news to end the video on, and that's that the child is now with their father and not this fucking piece of shit. And also, Australia is generally a great place with great people. There you go. I'm happy with that. Don't want to look into this anymore before I find something horrific again. I almost wish the lady's TikTok was still up though so we could have a look at like what her usual content was like. But unfortunately, well, you know what? Fuck it. Fortunately, it's all been taken down. But yeah, man, with all that being said, hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye.